how's it feel?
Feels solid, man. I think we did a good job. What is going on, kid family? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, guys, we got Subaru WRX, and we are actually lowering this thing. It's about time. So if you are interested in watching this video, stay tuned to the end. We got a lot of amazing content coming your way. Subaru just got excited for the lowering springs. Just ripped it on this parking lot, destroyed it. Shout out to Subaru. So I'll have his link in the description if you guys want to check out his Instagram and whatnot. But this is his 2018 Subaru WRX with a little bit of modifications. Not too much, just tasteful modifications. But the newest modification are these lowering springs. Tein S-Techs. We're going to be installing them shortly. Overall, this car is very, very clean. He's got a axle back exhaust, non-resonated, nice little lip spoiler right here, mud guards, little lip in the back, side skirts, STI accessories, and the car looks fantastic. But you know, factory ride height, you guys know, if you're a car enthusiast, the lower you are, the cooler you are. So let's make Saw look cool today, guys. Let's install these springs, and wait till the end because I'm going to tell you guys how much I found these springs and struts on Craigslist for. We hooked Saw up, right, Saw? We hooked you up. That's right. All right, so keep watching. Kid in the driver's seat again. We're doing a test drive. He's letting me do donuts now, so stay tuned, guys. Watch this. Open the windows, we're gonna die. Coronavirus. This guy's in the medical field. You don't want to be next to him. So whatever happened with the clutch? Did you get better at it with the how notchy it was?
Not really. I still kind of suck at it.
Damn, don't say that on camera.
It's okay, just cut it off.
Yeah, but I heard the tune. With the tunes, it helps, right?
Yeah.
So tell everybody what exhaust you have.
I got the nameless axle back. It's pretty good for what it is. Doesn't hurt the budget.
Sounds better than it did. Oh yeah. Sounds much more manlier. There's a nice turn here. This thing hauls ass, bro, and this is pretty much stock. Dang, I feel like doing another review. It's just rev happy, man. Little
If you
backfire.
could take the traction off.
Traction off? What are we gonna run it? Next time, Saw, we gotta do that intake and a tune, and you'll be all set, man. Intake and the spool would be crazy. But dude, I keep telling you this, I'm really happy with this car, bro. It's like it's very.
See, man, it's all you. You look good in the driver's seat.
Very agile, and like it actually reminds me of the Civic Si, the 8th gen. It's just fluent. Alright guys, let me tell you a little bit about this suspension setup right here. So these are factory WRX shocks on Tein S-Tech lowering springs. The S-Tech springs lower your car about 1.3 inches in the front and about 1.1 inches in the rear, which is very, very good. It's a nice medium drop. There's also H-Tech springs, which lower your car about 0.9 of an inch in the front and like 0.8 in the back. It's actually a good choice for this car because I mean, with the performance suspension, it's not that high off the ground. But one thing we did notice, there is reverse rake on this suspension. So what that means is the rear end of the car actually kind of sits lower than the front end of the car, and a lot of factory cars come this way, and in my opinion it just looks nasty. My brother's Lexus GSF had reverse rake as well. Not sure if you guys can see that. So right now what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take apart the front suspension. Should be pretty easy. I'll show you guys. As you see, we got the hood up. There's 3 shock tower bolts here. It's a McPherson strut suspension, so there's gonna be 2 bolts on the shock, and then you are all set. We're gonna do the front suspension first, take it for a drive, see how the stance is. Again, the only thing I'm considering being a problem and may really mess up this install is if we install the rear springs here and the front, and the car still sits reverse rake lowered, that's just going to be the worst thing in the world. So let's cross our fingers that doesn't happen, but until then, let's just install these front springs. So how many miles you got on this right now, Saul?
Got 20,600.
How's the car treating you?
It's good. No complaints.
How's the suspension on stock height and stock ride?
I actually like the stock height, but can't pass up this good deal. Let's see how it turns out.
Have you had lowered cars before?
I had a Civic lowered before, and it kind of sucked.
What kind of setup did it have on it?
It had the IBAC IBAC, yeah, IBAC springs.
Hey, that's high quality. And that's it? Springs and stock shocks?
Yep.
Okay. That's pretty much the same thing we're doing now. Alright, so we got Saul actually marking the camber bolt right now. So these things have an upper camber bolt factory, so we're just kind of marking it to see where it is, so once we reinstall the new shocks, we kind of have the same spec as before. Alright guys, we got 3 nuts right here on the top shock tower. I'm really surprised how small these nuts are and how loose they are. They're not tight whatsoever, so be careful when reinstalling. Now right over here we got this brake sensor. We're gonna have to unclip, take off this nut, take off this nut, take off this brake line, and then we can essentially just remove this whole strut. It's exactly the same as my Honda Civic 8th Gen. Okay, can't get it out. What is that?
Penetrating lubricant.
Okay, I'm gonna take that home. Oh my god.
Love that smell.
Tell you how much miles he has on those shocks? It
No.
said like 10.
It's like 10,000.
It said
Yeah.
10 on the ad, but you know when I sell shocks, I say like brand new
Yeah.
too. You know. So
yeah, they're brand new.
So now let's do these bolts. I think there's gonna be like an 18 and stuff, and we'll be able to drop it out. That's it.
It's like, okay, what do we do?
That's it. Whoa, there she goes. So yeah, it is a camber bolt. You can actually see the high rise of the bolt here, and again we marked it here so we can kind of reinstall it to the same precision as Subaru installed it from the factory, because all we do here is OEM or better than OEM. Okay, I forgot my ASE certification. Brakes are hot as balls. Alright, you ready, Saul?
Ready.
Alright. You want me to do the honors? This is like delivering a baby. You want me to do it? Or? It's your baby. Okay. Alright.
Beautiful.
Just
Beautiful.
watching everything. Don't want to scratch your tri-stage paint job. And there she is.
Oh,
and it's
wow,
the
it
same
spins,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how these top hats spin so freely. So let's go get the other shock here. We'll compare it real quick and then go from there. All right, guys, we were comparing the old shock, the new shock. Again, you can see Tein S-Tex. Everything looks good for the most part. One thing I did notice, this top hat, when you spin it, you can kind of feel and hear it kind of grinding a little bit rougher than the factory head. The factory head spins a little bit smoother. I mean, I don't feel like taking apart this top hat right now, but we're just gonna rock it in as is and cross our fingers everything's gonna work picture perfect. Now, some top hats have actual orientations where you should put it. I don't think Subarus have that, but we're gonna do the opposite top hat orientation compared to this side right here. So there is a little arrow right on the top head here, so, and it's pointing to the driver's side. So the driver's side shock, we're gonna make sure it's pointing to the passenger side.
Yeah, when you do your
Yeah. All right, so here goes nothing. We're reinstalling it, hoping for the best, guys. Made in Japan, actually, logo here, so that's pretty nice. So just make sure the top head is sitting somewhat good. Now, where are we at? So it's gonna be right here.
Shit. Oh, shit.
Keep it PG-13, you know? Well, at least they all fit in the hole. When I bought my used shocks, it was bent and I couldn't get the top head in my top shock head.
Okay, so
Alright, so now we just gotta finish the job right here. Make sure you route the brake line so it doesn't go in the wrong place. Simple as that. So we're just gonna put the first bolt in, which is where
you want the camber, the regular one?
Yeah. Oh,
that's the regular.
What's on this?
Lube.
You lubed it?
Yeah.
Is that the penetrating lube?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, okay. I need to take that home too. You might have to put it in. Yeah. I'll help you put it in.
Good? Nope.
Just keep trying.
Got it. Got one in there.
That's good. That's good. It's in there. I'm gonna hammer it in. That was the hardest part. Come on, Saul, you could do some background talking too. Don't make me do all the work. Tell him.
You're the YouTube star.
Tell him, dog. Tell him the time you went to jail and then you dropped the soap. These camber bolts are different than aftermarket camber bolts. You can actually see, oh, let me grab the camera. On this side, you guys can see markings on the bolt, which equates to maybe degrees of camber. It's a little different than the way my camber bolts were set up. I bought aftermarket ones for my 8th gen Civic. Just max camber is the way to go. I saw the more camber, the cooler, man. And plus, you want it clear. You can't be rubbing here. All right, guys. Usually, I don't torque my bolts down, my nuts. You know, I'm pretty confident in my abilities. But for this video, since we're working on a 2018, it's a exotic car. You know, we're gonna torque everything down to spec, so there's no complaints. You know, because there's no returns after this point. So the top nuts are 15 pound-feet of torque for those interested. All right, so now we're gonna tighten these shock bolts. We actually have another jack lifting the whole assembly. You want to tighten these and torque them with load. That's the way I've always done it. So we're tightening these to how much pound-feet of torque?
114.
114, and then we already got the camber adjusted back to factory specs here.
Damn, it's kind of tight, no?
That's what she said. Oh shit, you're bending. Oh, let me see. Oh my god. You sure your torque wrench is working? All right, guys, the Tein, whatever you want to call it, springs are in. Everything's torqued and tightened to spec. So we're gonna throw the wheel on, drop this side, and see if it actually lowered anything. You know what we forgot to do, Saul? We forgot to completely measure the car.
Ooh, we did.
Oh well. You know, we'll check visually the differences. So these are his factory wheels. These are some Tracklight Motegi racing wheels that are demolished. We picked these up a while ago. We still have them for decorative purposes. But I'm just gonna mock this up on the car. Although this is a different bolt pattern. This is 5x100. This is 5x114. Just if you guys are interested in this kind of design, which is decent. I'm not really digging the lip design. It doesn't look as concave as it should. But we got some. I think this is 100 treadwear tire for racing purposes. We're just gonna mock it up by the car here to see what this thing can actually be. Yeah, well, that's all you guys are gonna get because it doesn't fit on the hub. There's 17s compared to 18s. But yeah. Anyway, I'm digressing from the main purpose of this channel. So what do you think about the Harbor Freight tools, Saul?
Garbage.
Garbage. We already broke.
Get what you paid for.
We already broke 2 extensions right now. Cool. All right. So how long do you think it took us right now? It took a while, actually.
It actually took us like 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Taking our time, checking the camber, adjusting everything. The other side will go real smooth. What we're gonna do is we're gonna install the front shocks first, and then we're gonna take it for a spin, check if everything is good, check the ride height. We'll go back to that parking area, and then we'll see how he likes it. Then if he wants to, we can continue and install the rear suspension again. It all depends on the reverse rake. I told him if it's reverse raking, just leave these out. Just run the stock shocks in the front, in the rear, and run the Tein springs in the front, and you know, you'll still get that front down, ass up setup that everyone loves. I personally love that setup. So we'll see how it goes. And I like old Subarus that had the turbos back there. This new Boxer DIT, I think it's for direct injection. Actually, their turbos are mounted in the front, which, you know, maybe more cooling that way. All right, guys, we are officially done with both front suspension components. We ran into some small issues that we figured out along the way. He's torquing down the wheels right now, and then we'll drop it and we'll see the first initial impression. It's like it's higher than the like, pull the handbrake and move the car just a hair, like back and forth. Oh yeah, there you go.
Wow, it's lower for sure.
It is, right? Like look, standing right next to it. Look how tiny it looks.
Wow. Dude, looks good.
It looks real good, actually. I mean, that's perfect. And you still got a little bit of ride height gap. You know, tucking is too much. This is perfect. And again, the rear, I mean, we'll take it for a spin right now. Let's see if there's any clunking noises or anything. And we'll show you how it looks overall in the parking lot.
Fine.
We got like, no, but you got to go down quite a bit and look at where your front lip is at already. You don't think you're going to rub? I mean, we can try.
I think I gotta like kind of go. There's only one way to find out.
Well, yeah, there is. Hold on, don't go yet. Hold on. All right. Well, I got the 2x4 here just in case. Go slow. Go slow. Hold on. Slow down. Hold on. Keep it right there. I'm gonna put it on here anyway. You got like an inch here. Keep going. You're gonna jump up on the 2x4 now. Slowly, slowly. Hold on. Whoo, that's close on that side. We'll keep going. You're good. You're good.
Damn, bro, the steering feels weird.
Like stiffer or what?
Like looser, actually.
Looser?
Maybe I just...
Maybe go straight for now. Just drive it. Yeah. We'll go around the block.
It's pretty good. Not bad. Yeah. Actually, it's starting to feel a lot better now. Maybe it was just the initial.
It's got to settle kind of in place.
Not as bad.
Yeah, the main thing is once we get on the parking there, we'll just do full rotating turns, left, right, just kind of get those struts, the top hats wearing in properly, and we'll check the stands. All right, guys, we got the front installed. It is sitting pretty dang clean, as you can see. Very minimal gap. It's just sitting perfect, in my opinion. Let me show you guys this side right here. Not sure if you'll be able to take it away with the sun. The ride height is perfect, and overall, if you guys look at it, I mean, to me, the rear sitting up a little bit higher is ideal. So I'm gonna see if he's gonna want to lower the rear. If we lower the rear, it's just gonna be, I mean, it's pretty much gonna sit just like the front. It's gonna be on the tire. Hopefully not too low. Again, we don't want that reverse rake after we lower the rear. So yeah, we'll have to see. Like I always said, even I did a review on this car a long time ago, and I said the offset and fitment of the factory wheels is just amazing. Even with the car lowered, I mean, the offset looks pretty good. It's pretty much right at the fender.
Yeah, I'll probably just lube it up.
Oh yeah, he's talking about the lube. Yeah, don't worry about that. So what do you think? We're gonna lower the back or no?
I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard to decide.
It's your call. Unless you want to drive it like this for a few days and then see what you want to decide. We can always do it another day.
Dude, it looks good.
All right, guys, so we have decided to give it about a week of driving, see how everything turns out, see how he likes the front end. If he decides to do the rear end, he is always welcome to come to Bully Kid's garage. We'll knock it down. I think it looks perfect the way it's settled, the way it's looking right now. The rear end gap is very minimal. It's got that nice stance where the ass is up and the front is tucking. So guys, this is the point where I tell you how much we picked this suspension up for. I came across this on OfferUp. I saw a guy parting out his WRX. It was a 2019 model with about 10,000 miles. It turns out the guy is having twins and he's selling all his wheels, his intake, and his suspension. So this suspension was posted up for $200. I lowballed him. That's the only way you can get the things you want for cheap. You know, we lowballed him $100, thinking he's not gonna take it, and he said, yeah, come pick it up whenever. So I told my boy Saw, told him where to go. He picked it up. We got a full set of Tein Aztec lowering springs and stock WRX shocks with around 10,000 miles for $100. Retail for springs like this is anywhere from $200 to $270. Shocks, if you buy factory OEM shocks, I'm sure they're at least $200 themselves. So for $100, this was a complete steal, and that's the way we like to do it. So hopefully he enjoys these springs. The car definitely looks a hell of a lot better this way. It looks much more menacing, much more proper, even without putting in the rear. So we'll see again if he decides to do the rear. We'll have another video, so stay tuned, guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't seen my review of this car about a year ago or so when I reviewed it when it was stock, go ahead and watch that video as well. Thank you, guys. Catch you on the next video. Peace. All right, so the madman decided he wants the rear shocks swapped in. He wants to go for that lowered look, so he's taking off the tire right now. We kind of gutted the interior of the trunk, not much, just the bottom interior. You don't really have to gut the whole thing. Once you take this flap off, you got 2 bolts right here for the top nuts for the shock, so that is fairly easy as well. And unlike our 8th gen Civic, these aftermarket, well, the factory and the aftermarket rear springs, it's actually really nice and convenient because it's a shock spring setup right here, where on the 8th gen Civic you got the shock separate to the springs and it's just more work. So this way it's a nice, fast, easy install for the most part. Once we get the car lifted, the wheel off, I'll show you guys what needs to come off from underneath the car to make this process pretty smooth. And again, you got the stock shock and spring. You got this lower control arm, and you got a few things attached to it. For the most part, your sway bar end link is attached to it right here. We're gonna have to undo that one. The shock bolt, of course, we're gonna have to undo. And from what Saul tells me, we're gonna just loosen this one up just a little bit. And then at the end of the day, to drop the shock from the system, we're gonna take this nut off, drop the whole lower control arm from here so we can pull the spring and shock out. And for those interested, this is the what exhaust is this again? Nameless?
Nameless.
This is the nameless axle back exhaust. The interesting thing is this cat back exhaust is actually an STI option. So if you can see, it's a 3-bolt flange design, and it's a lot harder to find these axle back exhausts for the 3-bolt design. A lot of them that are factory WRX without the STI option, it's just a 2-bolt flange, and it's a lot easier. So it took him some time to get these, but he got them. Also, he has special bushings here. The exhaust hangers are different, and it actually makes the exhaust sit really flush to the diffuser here. Factory, these exhausts sit way too low. It's like ridiculously low. I don't know what Subaru was thinking, but this looks so much better, so much cleaner compared to stock. So let's go ahead. We're going to proceed with the install, and we'll get back to you once everything's out. All right, we got it. Not too hard, not too hard. Let's compare it to the all new ones. I don't think there's a left and right on this one. We'll have to check the logos or the part numbers, but should be just about the same here. We'll check the height differences too, if there's any. Got the shock installed. Everything is tightened under load right here. All these bolts are tight. Saul's hitting it from the top. I'm hitting it from the bottom. You already know the job's gonna be well done. And that car is leaning, boys. It is leaning and tucking right here. Whew, sheesh. It's the last one. I'll let you do the honors, man.
Alright, I guess any way it works, right? I should have checked which way
Was it only one way going in? Or? This looks the same, bro. It doesn't really matter.
Was it like this?
Because remember, it's gonna sit.
Or was it?
It's gonna sit this way in the thing. In the.
Oh, gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Did you get it up there?
Yeah.
I'll put the screws in. All right, we're good here.
Good?
Yep, I got it in. So now all we have to do is just pop everything into the control arm here, tighten the shock, the sway bar end link, and on this side we actually got like a headlight leveler here on the driver's side, so you have to pay attention not to damage that as well. And other than that, man, things are coming along quite well here. Just a few smashed fingers, that's all. So we got everything installed, the full setup now. Initial driving impressions right now. That boost. Feels stiffer.
It does, right?
Yeah, it feels stiffer. Give it rotate a little bit. How's the feedback?
Feels good. No. Dude, it feels stiff.
Stiffer?
Yeah. That's
Give it a little. Yeah,
give it a little.
Give a little juice over there. It's holding good.
It's good.
Dude, honestly, I think you'll be fine with even though, you know, no alignment, nothing. I mean, the most important thing is take it on the highway, you know, see how it feels. If nothing feels crazy, you're good, you're golden. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the finished product. Full Tein Type S lowering springs installed on a 2018 Subaru WRX. Now this procedure is the same for anything, what, 2015 and up is the same procedure, same chassis, same platform. And actually, we were worried about that reverse rake look, and that shit looks fantastic. Don't you think so? I don't see no reverse rake. I think we did a good choice doing the whole spring setup all around on all four corners. Right height, even tire all around. And you know, for those of you guys wondering, should I get coilovers, should I get springs? In my years of tuning and experience, you know, just do it yourself kind of stuff, if you're rocking a very aggressive wheel setup where your offset is, you know, at least 10-15 mils higher, I would get coilovers. You got that fine tuning and adjustability. If you're running stock wheels or wheels that are just slightly wider, you know, get the spring combo. If you want, get a dedicated sports shock and lowering springs. It's just easier, one and done. If you have to get the coilovers, and if you're running an aggressive setup, you're going to be fine tuning those springs, those coils for a while before you get it perfect. But this, install it and you're golden. So very happy with the install. Pretty easy on these Subarus, man. The front one's smooth as butter, the rear was pretty darn easy. No complaints, no issues. And again, $100 for the entire swap. Beat that.
Look at that.
The Subaru looks perfect in this habitat with all these tire marks everywhere. Hey, learning. Thanks for the 10-second car, man. I'm kidding. This is like a 20-second.
So how's it feel?
Feels solid, man. I think we did a good job. And if you guys are watching, and if you're trying to sponsor me, Bully Kid here, or Subi Saul right here, man, throw some DMs down in the comments. We'll appreciate any freaking. What was it again?
We'll appreciate.
Wait, what are we asking for? Yeah. We'll appreciate any sponsorships. Thanks, guys.
Alright guys, at first I was a little worried about how the springs were going to come out, just because I spent $100 on them, but it turns out that they came out great. The drive is solid, no complaints so far, but I'll keep you guys updated on my Subi Saw page, just in case. I do have my stock struts, so if these happen to go bad, then I'll just switch them out. But thanks to Bully Kid, he helped out a lot. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, and we'll see you guys again, hopefully with some sponsorships.
Alright guys, you heard him. I kind of told him to say the last line, but thanks. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.